I feel absolutely terrible because I have not been able to go live ever since BH Cosmetics. Just getting ready really quick, like going over a already semi-done face. I haven't been able to go live ever since the baby got really sick, and then we all got really sick. But with him being so sick for so long, I got no sleep. And then leading up to his procedure over the weekend, there were 2 nights straight where I did not sleep. What is in my hair? I did it again. Every time I film, I get a foundation in my hair. Over the weekend, I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't do it. I was just so nervous because his procedure was Monday. Didn't matter how hard I tried, I couldn't sleep. And then the night before his procedure, he wasn't allowed to have anything to eat or drink past 12, and he always has a bottle. So he woke up, and I literally just stayed up and rubbed his back all night. And then it hit me once he was home and everything was okay. I literally, like, my mom was here. She had planned on leaving first thing we got back, but I literally, like, went into a coma. I mean, I lost consciousness. I was done. Goodbye. Baby was okay. Baby was home. Baby was asleep. Mommy was done. So I took a little nap, and then yesterday it happened again. I was supposed to work. Harley had some time off, so I was gonna go live and do a tutorial, and we had a busy morning. We had a at-home teacher conference. Oh, and then something happened. Our water stopped working. We weren't sure if it was the whole street or what was going on, but I had to try to figure that out. Teacher came, and Harley finally got home. That was way too much. And it would have been time for me to, quote, do my live or whatever. It was really, really nice out yesterday. I knew I wanted to take the kids to the playground to do something nice with them, especially since Daddy was home. But the people from the water place were like, yeah, we don't know what's wrong. We're really busy. So anytime between 2 and 8, we'll be there to fix it. Stay home. You have to be there when the guy shows up. Come like 4:30, I was so mad and so done, and I wanted to take the kids to the playground and get pizza and have a picnic. And I called. They're getting ready to close the actual building. She was like, go ahead and go as long as everything's turned off. On the inside, he should be able to figure everything out. On the outside, you might not have to be there. And I thought, screw it, we're going. With my luck, he won't even show up today, or he'll forget about it. So, like, at that point, I was so mad. We didn't leave until after 5. He still hadn't come. And first thing we got to the playground, he calls and he's like, I need you here. Seriously. So then last night, I was again done. Like yesterday, I took a little nap sitting up on the couch. I was so mad at myself for falling asleep because I wanted to go live so bad yesterday. Because I didn't get to work over the weekend. Things have just been busy. So busy. But it is what it is. And then last night, I was exhausted. I could hardly get through the kids' homework when we got home from the playground. And, because I was thinking about going live last night. And then last night, Asher woke up like 15 times, and Malachi got up at 4:30 and wouldn't go back to sleep. So then today, was the first day that I didn't have any appointments or anything I had to go to. Me and Asher could come home. Kids are actually in school today, finally. The kids are finally in school, so I thought I can work today when he sleeps. Well, guess what? Mommy fell asleep too. Again. Why? Because I was up all night. I really didn't want to mess up my brows. I only have a minute. Just so tired. So tired. But like, you know, some people might think it's stupid of me to get myself so worked up over such a procedure that's done so often and, you know, isn't huge. But I mean, when a baby's put under, any mom's going to be scared. And I'm a mom who has already lost one son. The wind's blowing, so my little backdrop is blowing away. One of my kids already died due to a doctor's negligence, so that's right there. Ton of reason to worry. And then my fourth born almost died during a really bad febrile seizure. His temperature was up over 105. Felt like it took forever for the ambulance to get here. I thought for sure he was going to die in my arms. And if he didn't die, I thought for sure he was going to have brain damage because his temperature was so high for so long. And I learned that the brain can actually contain a temperature of 105. It's whenever your temperature goes over 108 that brain damage occurs. But anyway, his seizure was awful. His whole body was stiff, his head back, his eyes rolling in the back of his head, foaming from the mouth. And I saw one guy die at the beach. He drowned. And I guess he wasn't all the way dead. When they pulled him out and were trying to revive him, his whole body started to shake and he began foaming from the mouth. So when I saw, and I mean, it was right, I was standing right there. I saw the whole thing. So when I saw the foaming from the mouth, I was like, you know, like he's dying. Thank God he didn't die. He was fine, but it lasted a good 15-20 minutes. No exaggeration. It did not stop until we got to the hospital and they stabilized him somehow. And I mean, it was so scary. I can't even remember how he stabilized him or what happened, but oh my gosh, it was terrifying. And then, so this is baby number 5, and it brings back all these memories of my son dying, my other son having this, you know, near-death experience. And, you know, one had nothing to do with doctor's negligence, and, you know, it's just his temperature, he went, and it was so weird. This is like, God is so good. We put him to bed. He was in his crib. He wasn't making any noises. Like, I talked about a mother's intuition in a live the other day. Ever since my son has died, I have had this intuition that I cannot explain. I know things before, like, I cannot explain it. Like, it's almost like, I'm not going to say that I'm psychic, but I know things before I should know them. I feel like God gifted me with it. Praise Jesus. Anyway, I put him to bed. He was fine. Didn't have fever. He might have been a little bit sick or something, but nothing out of the ordinary that I can remember. And trust me, I would remember because it was so traumatic. I put him to bed. I was in bed, almost asleep or watching TV. He was in his crib, and he wasn't making a noise, not even a sound. And I all of a sudden got this feeling in my gut of sheer terror. I jumped out of my bed. I ran as fast as I could. I looked down into the crib, and I had never seen anything like it in my life. And like I said, he didn't even make a noise. The monitor was on. It wasn't a camera monitor. I didn't have one of those at the time. It was just, you know, I would have heard if he cried. He wasn't making any noises. He couldn't. He was like, you know, he couldn't make a noise. Even if he wanted to. If he wanted to cry for help, he couldn't have cried for help. But I was there. Thank God. And I know that I was there at the beginning of it. Like, it had just started. I could tell it just started. And as I picked him up, and the harder that I fought the seizure, the harder that I tried to relax him, to make it better, to make it stop, the worse the seizure got. It was absolutely incredibly insane. And I immediately start screaming, and Daddy jumps out of bed, and he sees him in my arms, and we both think he's literally dying. And so it took us a second to like call 911 because we went into kind of shock. We were, at that point, I would say we were hysterical. And then I got in the ambulance and went with the baby, and Harley had to call my parents to come over, and had to wait for them to get here to go to the hospital, because we had, you know, the time, 2 other kids here asleep. Oh my gosh, that was insane. Insane. But Mommy knew to get out of bed to go check on baby before there was any sign or reason to go check on baby. I gotta check all the time. You know what I mean? How crazy is that? I cannot tell you how many times God has shown me and saved me and my kids. He tried to save my first one, but I was young, scared. I wouldn't say stupid, but naive. I was naive. And my instincts told me one thing. I knew with my whole heart something was wrong. And I had to have that baby right now. Like, right now, I had to have the baby. And he had scheduled me for an induction, so I was ready to have the baby. And I knew if he, like, I just knew I have to have this baby today. It wasn't like an excited feeling. It was like a do or die feeling. And I go and the doctor's like, I'm going out of town. I was already 43 weeks. He's like, you're young, you're healthy, baby's fine. I was like, I'm leaking. No, I didn't say I'm leaking fluid. I said, I'm having a ton of fluid come out. I'm really worried. I don't know why. Like, did my water break? Because it wasn't a gush, but every time I have to change my underwear, like every couple hours, because it's soaked. Is that normal? And he's like, yeah, it's just pee. He's like, you can't talk while putting on lip liner. He's like, you're just peeing yourself because you're so far along, and the baby's pushing on your bladder. It's completely normal, nothing to worry about. He said, have you had a big gush of water come out? I said, no, it's just like a constant leak. And he said, yeah, that's just pee. He didn't check me, even though I told him I was terrified and I was leaking. told me to go home. And if I hadn't went into labor by like the next Tuesday, that we would go into induction because he had to go to town. I went home and cried and screamed at the top of my lungs. Lost it like a lunatic all by myself. I was by myself at my apartment at the time. I think my husband was at work. I felt in that moment like my baby's gonna die. But I thought at the time, because my doctor told me there was nothing wrong, that nobody would induce me. I felt helpless. Like, I tried to get what I wanted. I told him I was worried. I was leaking fluid. So I thought that, like, I mean, there was nothing I could do. My doctor sent me home. Like, so I had to wait. I thought I had to wait. I was so stupid. I should have told him he was an idiot. And then walked straight out of his office and went to the hospital and demanded to be checked. Because he didn't check my cervix during my appointment. He didn't check, I mean, afterwards, since then, I learned there's a little piece of paper they put down, or in you, to see if the fluid, if you are leaking fluid, to see if the fluid is actually amniotic fluid. Are you leaking amniotic fluid, or is it just pee? You know what I mean? Tiny little strip of paper. If you would have taken, what, 3 minutes to test, he would have known it was amniotic fluid. And my water had already broken, and I needed to be induced right away. But he refused to check me. I was that far along, and he didn't even check me during my appointment. He said I was fine. He listened to the baby's heartbeat and sent me home. My baby died that night. And I knew my baby died. I was in my bed, and I had this huge, terrible, what almost felt like a contraction, but now since I've had so many kids, I know it was not at all a contraction. It was the most painful thing I've ever felt. No! It was an excruciating pain. And it lasted like way too long. And I heard, "Goodbye, Mommy." I swear to you, I didn't tell anybody that for years. So the pain starts, the pain continues. I'm screaming, and I'm like, this is it. I must be going into labor. This is a contraction. My contractions are starting. But it was so painful, I couldn't hardly think during it. It woke me up. And then I heard, "Bye, Mommy." Just one time, "Bye, Mommy." Clear as day. I heard his voice, "Bye, Mommy." And then I started screaming, "No, come back. Please come back." So I was pregnant. Every time I was in the bathtub, if something touched the side of the tub, he would jump. Like, you know, any little noise, he would jump. I almost kind of like played with him when I was in the tub. So I got out of bed and I'm still screaming, "Come back, come back, come back, come back. No, 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 don't go, don't go." But I knew in my heart he was gone. But I was like trying to convince myself that he wasn't. Maybe he would come back. I jumped in the tub and I'm making noises. I'm banging things as loud as I possibly could. He was gone.
We get lost, we can get high. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. When all the things go wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love. Never let you go. We get lost, we can get high. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. When all the things go wrong, I'll take a shot for you.